Well, good Friday morning to everybody in Wyoming Gun Owners Nation. Aaron Dorr here with a video for you guys. We are talking about Joe Biden's new nominee to run the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Organization, ATF, Steve Dettelbach. If you got our email yesterday, I think it was yesterday, we told you guys a little bit about Steve. We've learned some more in the last couple of days. I want to do a video so that before you guys go into the weekend, you have this information. You can tell your friends, your family, people at church, people at the bar, whatever it is you do about this madman, because it's a big con job being forced down our throats or trying to be done so by Joe Biden. He hopes that everybody thinks Steve Dettelbach is not the menacing, nasty SOB that David Chipman was. And there is some truth to that. David Chipman had a jaw that, let's just face it, we all wanted to give it a stiff uppercut. I know I did. And when you see Steve Dettelbach, when you see this guy, he does not look like the intimidating guy, the evil, overtly evil guy that David Chipman was. Here he is, old Steve Dettelbach with that dumb look on his face. There's a guy who never had a girlfriend in high school. Of course, with our illustrious vice president, who was everybody's girlfriend in high school. What can I say? Sometimes these lines, they write themselves. So Steve Dettelbach does not come across like this raging nut job that David Chipman was, but as we know now, he is every bit the gun grabber, if not more than David Chipman ever was. So guys, if you're low on time, whatever else you do, hit the link, hit your petition, and tell Barrasso and Lummis to vote no on this nut job when he gets brought before their committee, before the Senate rather, for a confirmation vote later on this year. Insiders tell us this nomination is going to be official as early as next week. We're still waiting for the exact day and time. It has to go through judiciary. But as we all saw with Ketanji Brown, what really counts is how many other Republicans, even those not on Judy committee, will publicly support or oppose a nominee. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to see Barrasso and Lummis loudly, publicly oppose this guy for the following reasons. So while he comes across like some, weird dork from high school, never quite grew up, Dettelbach was actually a U.S. attorney under this guy. Where is he? This guy right here. For 8 years under Obama, Steve Dettelbach was a U.S. attorney. So we know a lot about his views on gun rights from his time as U.S. attorney. But also when Trump won, Dettelbach got out of the U.S. attorney's office, and he then ran to be the attorney general in Ohio, his native state. And on the campaign trail for a year, Dettelbach made his views on guns crystal clear. There is no confusion on where Dettelbach stands when it comes to guns. Here's what we know for a fact. Let me check out some screenshots here. Yeah, it's working good. Okay. Here's what we know about this guy. Number one, he fully supports making you, making me, making all of us a felon if we buy an AR-15. He believes, just like David Chipman, just like Joe Biden, that buying an AR-15 or any one of hundreds of similar firearms should be a felony offense for gun owners here in America. Hates gun owners, hates guns, hates the AR-15 and all of their associated similar sister-style firearms. Once you go to prison for buying one of those. That's number one. Number two, Steve Dettelbach is a huge proponent of a national registry of gun owners here in this country. He wants every gun you own, and he wants every gun owner added to the federal NICS system. He wants a list of every single firearm in circulation. We all know why. These guys, they don't even try to hide it anymore. These guys want a list of every gun owner in America so they can eventually, someday down the road, they hope, go and try and confiscate those firearms. It's just that simple. We all know this to be true. He's a huge proponent of that. And it's ironic. It's ironic because Steve Dettelbach, when he was a U.S. attorney, he worked for this guy. He worked for Eric Holder, the biggest piece of trash to ever occupy the AG's office even more, even more than Merrick Garland, which is saying something. So, as Eric Holder and the DOJ were arming Mexican drug cartels and getting American Border Patrol agents murdered with these firearms, and thousands of Mexican citizens and police officers murdered with these firearms, as they're giving them away by the truckload to the cartel, these arrogant bastards now want to make it a crime for you, for me, for us to give a firearm to our grandson, our friends, a nephew, a cousin, whatever, unless you have government permission first. He's a nut job. He's a nut job. More than that, Dettelbach supports the idea of making more misdemeanor convictions grounds for losing your firearms for a lifetime. My coffee's getting cold. He wants to do this. This is the big push right now in D.C. Felony convictions has always been the threshold to lose your gun rights. And frankly, we disagree with half of that as well. Violent felonies, absolutely. Heck, for most of those, murder, rape, kidnapping, you should be executed. That's my position. That's the Bible's position. So that wouldn't even be a factor. But for non-violent felonies, those should not bar you from owning guns for a lifetime, in my opinion. But when it comes to these guys, Dettelbach wants to make all kinds of misdemeanors grounds for losing your firearms for a lifetime. So we're way away from the felony conversation and what types of felonies. Now they want to know what types of misdemeanors can we use to take away your guns for the rest of your life. This is the big push these days in Washington, D.C. It's terrible stuff, because once you open up Pandora's box like that, they're going to take guns out of the hands of millions and millions of gun owners. That's their goal. That's their goal. We all know that. The fourth thing that Dettelbach is well known for is supporting red flag gun seizure laws. He doesn't use that same exact terminology necessarily, but he says, it's even worse in some regards, he says that people who are having mental health difficulties should be disarmed, should lose their gun rights for a lifetime. Now, we all know what this means, right? We already have a federal law, 922 subsection G, that talks all about how if you are adjudicated defective, you may not own or possess a firearm. But adjudication is a heck of a lot different than being declared. Under an adjudication, that means, hey, you've gone before a judge, maybe a jury, you've had a lawyer present, you could confront the evidence or the BS evidence that's been filed against you. You could produce your own evidence as to why you should not be disarmed. You've got due process rights. That's what adjudication means. The big push, as we all know from the radical left these days, is to simply take away your guns by declaration. By declaration. And that's exactly what Steve Dettelbach agrees with. Terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. So Dettelbach might come across like some dumb geek. Again, here's this great photograph. Again, no girlfriend in high school, whereas she was everyone's girlfriend in high school. But he is every bit the gun grabber that David Chipman ever was. And many people say he's worse. We're only kind of pulling back part of the surface right now on where Dettelbach stands on gun control. We're told it's a lot worse. We're digging actively now to get more information for you guys. But what we know already is enough. It's enough. So it's important now, guys, that we start already to flood Barrasso and Lummis's phone lines with phone calls, emails, text messages, everything from WIGO members saying you had better vote no on Dettelbach as ATF director. We shouldn't have to do this. It should be pretty self-evident, right? The guy's a tyrant. The guy wants to unleash the ATF on gun owners and make felons out of countless gun owners. If he had his way, that's what he would do. So it shouldn't be a big ask, to get Barrasso and Lummis to vote the right way. But they have done they voted the right way on Ketanji Jackson yesterday in the Supreme Court. Barrasso screwed us again on the VAWA vote, the Violence Against Women Act, which was jacked full of gun control just last month. And so we can't take anything for granted these days, especially when it comes to Senate Republicans in Washington, D.C. So fire off the link. The link is right beneath our video here, guys. Take a moment, hit that petition. It goes right to Senators Barrasso and Lummis and tell them you want them to hold the line and to vote no on this guy who is clearly every bit the gun grabber that David Chipman ever was. He's so far out there. When he ran for AG in Ohio in 2018, he had the full endorsement of Everytown for gun safety. He had the endorsement of Joe Biden. In fact, we got a photograph here. Where did I put that? Here it is. Here's Joe Biden's endorsement of this idiot when he ran for attorney general in Ohio in 2018. So he is a hardcore lefty. Here he is again with Obama. Here he is again with Eric Holder. Here he is again with America's girlfriend. Heavy sarcasm. Please note the heavy sarcasm. Kamala Harris. And the guy's a radical leftist. And we need to see Republicans in D.C. vote no on this guy. Guys, take a moment, hit that link, sign your petition. And when it's done, you're going to a confirmation page and given a chance to donate to help WIGO get the word out about Dettelbach, and his nomination. Please consider a donation right now to help us get the word out about this. This nomination is going to be unveiled, we're told, next week, maybe in 2 weeks. It's coming fast, and we need your support, guys, to build up opposition to this nutjob's nomination. Please be generous if you can. And go to joinwygo.com to become a member of Wyoming Gun Owners today. And finally, guys, share our video on your own social media feeds. Facebook kills our reach these days. We all know that. Help us get past that. Share our video on your own Facebook page. We'll keep you guys informed. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe.